Good morning and welcome to Mornings on Main Street for this Monday, February 6th. I'm your host, Stephanie Miller. Coming up on today's show, we hear from government reporter Vivian Jones from Main Street, Nashville. She shares with us the information coming at the State of the State address given by Governor Lee a little later today. Also, she gives the latest on other happenings on Capitol Hill. After that, we talk with Catherine Mayhew in our Let's Eat segment. She introduces us to a Mexican food truck that is bringing authentic Mexican tacos to Middle Tennessee. And then this morning, we sit down with Officer Dylan Lawrence, the communications officer from the Clarksville Police Department. He shares with us the best actions we can take when getting pulled over. But first, we're going to take a look at our headlines this morning. We have from Robertson County, they will soon receive its first installment of payments from the state that will go towards opioid education and prevention. Last November, Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti announced that more than $84 million was paid to state and local governments to abate the opioid crisis in the state from the initial settlement payments with Johnson & Johnson and 3 other national pharmaceutical companies. You can read more of the details given by County Mayor Billy Vogel that he provided by going to robertsoncountyconnection.com. Please head over to fortcampbellcourier.com to read the beautiful community piece about 6-year-old Audie Sandiford. Audie was recently granted her wish thanks to Make-A-Wish Foundation. Now, she and her family, they will soon enjoy a vacation together at Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Now, Audie has a rare neurodevelopmental condition that is characterized by early onset epilepsy. That's low muscle tone and developmental challenges. So again, for this beautiful story, head over to fortcampbellcourier.com to learn how she was told that she was getting her wish granted. And then Ashland City's Marrowbone Creek Brewing Company will join more than 60 members of the Tennessee Craft Brewers Guild in the launch of the Tennessee Ale Trail, a mobile pass that gathers points for each brewery check-in. Craft beer fans will be able to access the Trail Passport using a mobile website, and they will accrue points as they taste their way across the state and at the participating breweries. But you can read all about it by going to CheathamCountyExchange.com. And congratulations to our brewery there in Ashland City. All right, let's get a check of that forecast and start off this Monday with a nice laugh from Justin Gulick. Justin?
Hey, Stephanie, thanks for passing it over. I just had one quick question for you. What do you call a cat that lives in an igloo?
Not a clue.
An Eskimo.
That's cute.
That should register at least top 10, hopefully.
I'll have to think about that one.
Okay, that's fair. Well, as far as the weather for today, in the morning, you're going to catch areas of patchy fog. The high is going to be 60. No chance of rain, it looks like, throughout the day. As we go into the later hours, it's going to get a low of 44, but cloudy skies, no rain. Low 44. I'll take it all day, every day of the week.
I feel that. Justin, thank you.
You're welcome.
Being that it's Monday, it is time to check in with our government reporter from Main Street, Nashville, Vivian Jones. Vivian, good morning to you. And we're going to start off talking about Mayor Cooper's latest announcement.
Yes, good morning. Last week, we learned that Mayor Cooper is not running for re-election. That leaves the mayor's race in Nashville coming up this fall wide open. He's one of the only mayors in recent years that has not sought a second term in office. So that announcement last Tuesday kind of took the city by surprise and certainly left open a lot of speculation about who else might throw their hat in that race. Lots of things going on in the state legislature this week as well, or last week, and then also looking forward to this week. 2 controversial bills having to do with public drag shows and also surgeries for transgender children. Both started advancing through the committee process, and we'll see more hearings on those this week as well. A proposal that would cut the Metro Council in half from the current 40 members to 20 members also passed a first committee hearing last week in the House side as well. So lots of things happening both in state and local government last week.
Now, we're also looking forward to this afternoon, the State of the State address by our governor. What do we anticipate there?
Yeah, so Governor Lee is going to be making his fifth State of the State address. This will be the first of his second term. And during that, he's expected to lay out some budget proposals, especially some significant funding for road projects. We're expecting to see some increase possibly to the State Department of Children's Services. They've been having difficulty recruiting and keeping staff, which has affected some of their services as well as an expected announcement of parental leave and benefits for state employees. So there's also, I'm sure, lots more coming, but that's what we're aware of that he's planning to make public tonight.
Well, it looks like you're going to have a busy Monday afternoon today. We look forward to catching up with you on Friday. Anything else before we let you go on this lovely Monday?
Yeah, well, it's still early, but lots more bills are still coming in. A few more that were filed last week that have to do specifically with Nashville government. We're kind of seeing almost a trend of bills. First, we saw the Metro Council proposal to cut it down from 40 to 20 members. A couple weeks ago, we saw a new proposal that would end Metro's local tax authority around the Music City Center to help raise revenue to help pay off the bonds for that. And so there's that proposal. Last week, we also saw two new proposals that would completely overhaul the makeup of Nashville's airport authority and sports authority. So we're really seeing a shift there to more, the narrative kind of on the state level is more state oversight into local government, but we're also seeing really an injection of state authority coming in and saying, we're going to actually be the ones appointing those members on those authority boards. So we're also seeing some bills filed about regarding abortion and kind of to the overturning of Roe versus Wade last year. Several Republicans have filed bills creating exceptions for rape, incest, and then also a separate proposal on medical emergencies. That's a shift from what's the current law. Right now, there are no exceptions in state law for any abortion procedures, including for medical emergencies. There's a legal defense that doctors can use, but there's no real true exception. There's also a bill that was been filed by Senator Agberry that would clarify that contraception and birth control, including IUDs, do not cause abortions. There needed to be some legal clarity there, apparently. So there's lots of new bills being filed about abortion as well.
Looking forward to following up on all of those bills that you have just mentioned. One more I do want to ask that I did read about earlier about two lawmakers looking to maybe make school lunches and breakfast free for children. Do you know where that is at?
I'm not up to date on that specific one. We are seeing as the committees kind of start really taking up a lot of those. There are quite a few on education. I'm not familiar with that one specifically, but one big one that will definitely impact Nashville is the third grade retention law. There's a proposal that would make those summer learning camps and after school programs that were implemented kind of as a literacy bolstering literacy rates amid the pandemic. Right now, they're due to not be permanent, and so they would end. And so there's a proposal to make those permanent because of this third grade literacy law. That essentially you'd have to repeat third grade or go to one of these other programs, the summer learning camps or the after school programs. And so that will be heard for the first time this coming week.
Thank you for that. Where can we catch your articles each and every week?
You can keep up with all the proposals and follow along for updates at mainstreetnashville.com.
Vivian, thank you.
Bye.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd. The goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Don't miss a minute of the action this season. Visit NashvillePredators.com/tickets to get your seats today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets. And we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Walmart Supply Center is hiring right now in Lebanon, Tennessee, where you can earn up to $22.25 an hour when you join our new fulfillment center. Enjoy competitive pay and flexible hours and all sorts of perks like 100% paid college tuition, a 401k match, flexible schedules, a free Walmart Plus membership, a free Paramount Plus membership, plus you get paid time off and a lot of other things. All you have to do to apply is text JOIN to 240240. Text the word JOIN, JOIN, to 240240 right now.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. It is time for our Let's Eat segment with our food reporter and columnist, Catherine Mayhew, wondering where she's going to take us today. And I looked at the place and it is Mexican street food inspired. Catherine, hello to you. And where are we going today?
Hi, we are going to Alajibre. It is run by a chef named Edgar Vittoria. He is from Mexico City originally, and he wanted to bring his his culinary history of Mexican street food to Nashville. Lucky us. So he has actually two fixed food trucks. They're trailers, and one of them is outside Honey Tree Meadery. And what he does is some of the best street tacos you'll ever have. He uses nixtamalized corn to make his tortillas, which is very traditionally Mexican. He makes blue tortillas, which are also traditionally Mexican. And then he fills them with traditional ingredients and some non-traditional ingredients, but they're absolutely terrific and fun to eat. And then you take your tacos and street corn into the meadery, and you have a nice glass of mead to go with your meal.
Oh, that sounds so good. How's the street corn? I love good street corn.
I love good street corn too, and his is great. It's very simple. It's heavy on the lime, light on the mayonnaise, heavy on the cojita cheese, which is just the way I like it. And he also makes an unbelievable churro.
Ooh.
Which are also extremely Mexican. And what he does is he fills the center of them with dulce de leche, which is like a 3-milk concoction. And then fries them, rolls them in powdered in sugar and cinnamon, and they're just awesome.
Oh, I can imagine. Did I read on their website that they have sopas? Isn't that like a tortilla, like a fried tortilla?
They have huaraches, which are sort of an elongated oval, slightly thicker tortilla. And then they do a lot of specials. They'll do sopes as a special, which is a round, also thicker tortilla with fillings. The special we had the other day was sort of a magical thing. He took chicken wings and he boned out the entire wing except for the tip. And then he marinated them in this wonderful aromatic, spicy marinade, grilled them, did some pickled vegetables, and then put the chicken wing on top on a blue tortilla. So you take the little tip and use it as a handle, but the rest of it's completely boneless and edible. It was out of this world.
It sounds like it. How long has this family been in the Middle Tennessee, Nashville area?
I think they've only been here a few years. The first time I encountered them was at the Richland Farmers Market. And he was working out of a truck there. Now they have 2 trucks, and he also does other pop-ups. And what happens with a lot of these outfits is they're around long enough, they get a loyal following, they get a good enough business base going that they then open a brick and mortar. And I'm hoping he's one of those people that will open a brick and mortar, because I would follow him to Clarksville and back just for one of his tacos.
You're kidding. Well, and I'm always just fascinated with what someone like that can do in a food truck and what they can put out from a food truck.
You know, it is amazing. A lot of these trucks don't have any fryers because it takes up a lot of space and you have to vent it. And the breadth of what he puts out in these trucks, and what he does is it's limited, but it's perfect. He really knows what he's doing. The fact that he nixtamalizes his own corn, he imports the blue corn from Mexico City. So, you know, I have been to Mexico City and I've eaten a lot of street food there. And this is as close, if not exactly the same. So if you can't, afford the plane ticket to Mexico City, find his truck, find Alajibre, and, close your eyes and you'll be there.
Alajibre. And, I looked it up and I'm reading some of the reviews and I am just seeing 5-star after 5-star talking about, yes, how authentic Alajibre is.
Nashville's come a long way. I think at this point there's 3 or 4 Mexican places that do nixtamalized corn tortillas, and you can taste the difference. It's got sort of a greater corn flavor. It's slightly sweet in a really good way. The tortillas are much more pliable. So it really, if you have a regular tortilla and a nixtamalized corn tortilla and you put them next to each other, you can tell the difference. And sadly for me now, I'm going to sort of migrate toward the few people who will do the authentic nixtamalized tortilla.
Well, Catherine, thank you so much for introducing us or sharing Alajibre with us. And hopefully, we can all make a trip out there to experience the authentic Mexican taco that they have.
Well, I will say just quickly, the best way to know where they are in any given week is to follow him at Alajibre Nashville on Instagram. They post their schedule weekly.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Catherine, thank you so much. And I want to share with everyone that I recently met Catherine and Mary Hance, our Miss Cheap, for lunch. And she got me to try chicken feet.
Yes.
And it was quite the experience at this Asian restaurant. Not for me. It was good for a bite.
It's not for me either. I love trying new things. This is my second go around with chicken feet. And if you're from China, it's a textural delight. If you're not from China, it can be texturally challenging. Let's just put it that way.
That it was. I can't wait to continue to share our little trips and sit downs for lunch. So, Catherine, thank you. Until the next time for Let's Eat, have a great rest of the day.
All right. You as well.
Bye. Stay with us here on Mornings on Main Street. We have more coming up.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. So do you know what to do if you get pulled over? What to do during a traffic stop is our topic of conversation this morning with Officer Dylan Lawrence, the communications officer with Clarksville Police Department. Once again, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So, okay, where do you start? When you get pulled over, you see the flashing lights behind you. I know I tense every time. What do you do?
There's the tense thing. So first, everybody take a breath. Like that's the biggest thing, because there's that panic moment. And as a guy who's been on both sides of a traffic stop, I understand that, moment. So just take a breath. It's not the end of the world. First thing, don't pull over immediately.
Okay.
Pull over as soon as it's safe. That's a judgment call. Most of the time, the officer will plan for a spot to pull you over at.
Okay.
They might follow you for a little bit. That does not mean that every officer that's behind you is looking to pull you over, but they'll, telegraph where they're going to be stopping at. So as you're driving along, if there's a road with no shoulder on it, don't just stop in the middle of the road. Wait for the next little parking lot that's right up there. That's a good one to pull over in. If it's something like Wilma Rudolph Boulevard, pull into the gas station, a parking lot, whatever you have, and then just stop. Like that's all it is. Because with that tense moment, people will stop in the middle of the road. They'll just throw on their brakes right there, and
which could cause more issues than
the biggest thing for me as a police officer during a traffic stop is that safety aspect. I don't like having myself standing out in the middle of a road where everybody's trying to go around and look at what's going on. I would much rather do it in a parking lot, someplace that's off the path a little bit.
So is that why sometimes you see, or you may notice, that the officer will come to the passenger side window instead of the driver's side?
There's a couple of reasons to do that.
Okay.
I love doing the passenger side approach because I don't like being anywhere near that road.
Okay.
It's a big, scary thing with a whole lot of big, scary metal going very fast right next to me. So I'll go over to the passenger side. Another reason to do it is to kind of break up the monotony of it. If somebody is looking to, do me harm or not be so nice, they're going to be looking out their driver's side the whole time for me.
Right.
If I'm walking around, I've heard it called tactically startle.
Okay.
And you just kind of do the tap on the glass and, hey, I'm right over here. It's fine. And you just kind of take that deep breath, understand that this is a weird situation for everybody involved. I understand that being pulled over is not the most fun thing that's ever happened.
Never.
It's probably going to ruin your day a little bit, but we all just want to get out of there as kind of safely as possible.
So, okay, so you get pulled over, you make it to that stopping point. Do we need to automatically start reaching for things, or should we wait? And if so, how do we need to be positioned in our driver's seat?
The best thing you can do is, as soon as you're able, grab your ID. Don't focus on what the police officer is doing. Don't be watching them in the mirror. If you hear somebody, introduce themselves at their window, my name's Officer Lawrence with the Clarksville Police Department, just stop what you're doing. Like if you're digging through a purse or your glove box looking for your insurance or trying to get into your wallet for your ID, just stop what you're doing and put your hands right up on the steering wheel. It's right there anyway. That's where your hands sit. Like just go, okay. They will tell you what to do from there.
Okay.
And every officer is a little bit different about how they want to conduct it, and that's fine. Just take that deep breath, try to relax a little bit, and just follow whatever directions they give you. If they say, yeah, go ahead, go ahead. It's really less complicated than people want to believe because it is a big, shocking moment.
Right. So, okay. So again, when you're getting pulled over, say Wilma Rudolph or a side road or whatnot, what about the interstate? There's really no easy spot to stop, I feel like.
Interstate's a little bit different because you can get over to the side as much as you can. The interstate is great because they do have that big shoulder there most of the time.
True.
So if you're on a bridge, maybe wait till after the bridge because that gives us a lot more opportunity to maybe walk around and do the passenger approach or position our car in a way that could shield us from somebody not paying attention or whatever. There's a reason why we do all the weird little things that we do that everybody likes to get on the internet and say, well, they do this for super cool tactical reasons or something. No, most of the time it's just for safety. Okay. It's because it's something that I'm used to doing, and familiarity kind of just keeps us in that rhythm a little bit. So you make your stop, be as safe as you can, look for your items. If you hear that voice or that tap on the window, just stop what you're doing and put your hands up there. And that's really about it.
As a parent, how often do parents out there need to reiterate this to their either soon-to-be drivers or new drivers?
It's something I wish they definitely taught more in driver's ed, but I've had, people that I've stopped that have been driving for 40 years and they've never been stopped before. And things change in 4 decades.
That is
so it's one of those, just, again, take that deep breath, think about what's going on, and just kind of follow the directions given. Okay. There's a few more little things that go into it. There's ways that, you can ask questions. You can definitely ask questions. Okay. If you're concerned about anything, ask questions. But the side of the road probably isn't the best place to argue your case. There's a time and a place for that. It'll be printed right on the bottom of your ticket or your warning or your citation or whatever. A date and time, that's when you can show up and that's when you can argue your case. Okay. Side of the road with a bunch of those big scary metal things flying by is probably not the best time to argue.
Noted.
But here at CPD, there's a few different things that we can do. We can set, there's a few different outcomes to a traffic stop. Sometimes it's just hey, just go ahead, do me a favor. I looked on your record. You've never had anything like that. Just go ahead and get your taillight fixed. That's a verbal warning. There's no record of it. It's just, hey, I stopped you, the end. Okay. We also have a written warning that prints off on this little receipt paper. It's very official looking. You're not going to confuse it for a Taco Bell receipt, I promise. But it just says warning at the top, nothing to pay, all this other stuff. And then it has all the officer's information on there.
Okay.
There's an actual printed ticket, which comes off on the same receipt paper that where it actually has a date and a time where you can show up if you. There's what we call a TMOC, which is the big offense citation.
Gotcha.
So that's if you have multiple things going on.
So say like speeding, running red light, and you're not wearing your seatbelt.
Yes. That's 3 great ones.
Right there. Awesome. Well, thank you for that information. Anything else that you can think of before I let us let you go?
There's a few, I've always tried to say this to people. If you have a concern about something that happened during a traffic stop, call us. Okay. Call 911, say you want to speak to a sergeant or a supervisor. They will call you back. It might not be within that 5 minutes when you're still really upset, but because we have a lot going on. But if you have a genuine concern, talk to a supervisor. Like my sergeant will pick up the phone right now and talk to you. Okay. Hopefully not, because I don't have that many interactions like that anymore. But yes, if you have a concern, if you have a question about something, if you want to compliment somebody on how they handled it all, give us a call. We like hearing feedback from our community. And that's a big part of it. It's our community. We're not just policing the community.
That's wonderful. Also, Lawrence, thank you so much. We appreciate the information.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Stick with us here. Mornings on Main Street. We'll be right back.
It's time to get tickets for the Nash Vegas Casino Night at Auction presented by King Jewelers. It's Wednesday, February the 8th at Bridgestone Arena. This year's theme is reverse retro, so break out the Musters jerseys and Y2K fashion. Challenge Roman Yossi to a game of blackjack, or join Ryan McDonough as he rolls the dice at the craps table. Mix and mingle with the players and Preds personalities while bidding on auction items and tasting food from local restaurants. All proceeds benefit the Preds Foundation. Visit NashvillePredators.com/gala.
Welcome back. Okay, guys, start sending in your birthdays and anniversaries. We want to give you a shout out right here on Mornings on Main Street, and I'm just going to keep asking. So send your birthdays and your anniversaries right there to smiller@mainstreetmediatn.com so we can give you a shout out right here. Just have your name and where you're from. Looking at our national days today, it is National Chopsticks Day. I don't know who out there uses the chopsticks. I try to at certain places. And let me share with you, it took me forever to learn how to hold chopsticks properly. Also today, it's National Frozen Yogurt Day. I think I'm going to have to treat myself maybe to some strawberry frozen yogurt. Chocolate also sounds good. But treat yourself today for National Frozen Yogurt Day. Couple of events to highlight coming up. So I just came across this, which I thought would be a wonderful trip for individuals or families. The Orchids in the Museum exhibit at Cheekwood. This runs through March 5th. So when it's open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Admission to see this, it is included with the garden and mansion tickets that you get. So again, that is at Cheekwood. Head over there and enjoy. Also coming up, it's a Valentine's cookies decorating class for beginners. This is in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It does have a cost. The admission fee is $60, but if you're in that area, sounds like a fun time learning how to decorate cookies for Valentine's Day. This is happening Friday on the 10th. So that's coming up. It'll run from 6:30 to 8:30. And the address for you is 410 Lytle Street there in Murfreesboro. All right, thanks for joining us on this Monday. Sure hope you join us tomorrow morning for Tuesday. Have a blessed rest of the day.